Today on our call, what I want to talk about is something that I've named future pacing. Okay. And I want you guys to think about the last time you future paced. Now, what this does is it's basically a tool that we can use to unlock a level in our brain and start a type of more powerful manifestation where we can bring our future into our present or reach our future faster. So I kind of want to unlock some area in your brain today. That is the goal. Sounds super cool, right? So there are two ways when it comes to weight loss that I want to talk about to future pace. So two main ways, okay? The first way that I want you to start future pacing is by thinking about your ultimate goal, okay? We all have an ultimate goal. Think of it real quick, write it in the comments. What is this big goal you want to achieve? Not the goal you have right now, but like the big goal overall, okay? Now, this goal that you've made up, you've come up with it with the mind you currently have, right? And so what I need to challenge you to do is dream even bigger. Take that ultimate goal, put it on steroids, and that's your new ultimate goal. Now, for me, personally, dreaming big, I would say is definitely a challenge for me. I consider myself a realist in a lot of situations. I'm very logical. I'm very rational. So when I set really big goals for myself, they seem impossible to my present self, which is really crazy. I try to set goals that seem impossible to my present self because if I want to achieve great things or better things, I have to not stay the current me, right? So if I have to go somewhere that is not currently me, then I can't think like me to get there, right? And so the first step to getting to this ultimate bigger goal is to think bigger. Expand your brain. Think a thought that you've literally never thought before because you couldn't think of it until now. So I challenge you. What is your new dream big? What's that big dream that you have? And it can't be the thing that just popped into your mind. Why? Because if it popped into your mind that fast, it means you've probably thought of it before. And we are trying to not think like yourself. Crazy stuff here. It's like Inception. So if we want to future pace and reach this future potential and bring it closer to where we are now, you need to have a bigger dream than what you currently have. What you have is not good enough. It is playing it safe, and it was conjured in the ceiling of your current mind. That's where it was conjured. We want to break the ceiling, make a new ceiling. And that starts with a thought. You have to first think it if you want to achieve it. You have to first think it in order to start believing it. You have to dream up the impossible if you want to one day make it possible, because everything seemed impossible at one point, but you thought of it first. And that was the first step in future pacing. Okay, so that's the thing number one I need you to do. Dream bigger and take some time to think about it. Anything that pops up to your mind really quick is still you thinking like you. So dream really big, something that you never let yourself think before, something that you were afraid of thinking about because you didn't think you were capable or you deserved it or you were worthy or it was for you. Let your mind run wild with where you can take your life and your health and your body and your weight loss. Let it run wild. Go big or go home. Because let me tell you, if you don't go big, you will end up staying home. You will end up not going very far. That's for sure. Now, second way that we can future pace is by creating what I call a goal number 2. Okay. So we all have a goal number 1, which is what you're working on right now, right? The goal that's in the front of our mind. And now we have this ultimate goal plus this bigger goal we've just now started to work on. You have the beginning, you have the end. Now what I need you to do is have a step 2. Okay, and here's why. I need you to know what happens after you reach your first goal. Okay, so say your first goal is, I just want to lose 10 pounds. Okay, well, you need to know what happens next. Okay, and you need to know what happens next. Like, what is the next thing we're working on, for two reasons. Reason number one is, when you know what happens next, you always have a clear path. Okay, no matter how chaotic and overwhelmed and anxious and crazy life gets, you can still be brought back to your center path, which you know, because you've already said it. We didn't just reach our first goal and then fall off path, right? So a goal number two is going to keep you focused, so you can actually keep the weight off and do more. And also, what's really cool about this, ladies, when you make that goal number two, what you're doing is you're convincing your brain that you're going to be much more likely to hit goal number one, because you're already thinking about what happens afterwards. And this is so important, because guess what? You've probably had goal number one for years, and you've probably been trying to reach it for years, right? And if you've been trying and unsuccessful for years, you've told your brain it's not happening. Your body doesn't think it's going to happen. You're stuck. You're losing willpower. You're losing motivation. You're losing steam, because you've been trying so hard for so long with not much return. So goal number two is one of the easiest ways to fast track goal number one, because now you've expanded your mind into thinking and living and preparing like you've already reached goal number one. Now you're a goal number two person, right? So you've actually embodied goal number one before you've even reached it. And that's the thing that a lot of us are missing. So how does this work? So let's say your first goal is, your present goal right now that you're working on is, I want to lose 10 pounds, 20 pounds, whatever. And then goal number two is, okay, I knocked off my 10 pounds. Now I want to lose 30 pounds, right? That's goal number two. So as soon as you lose your 10 pounds, you now have the next goal. I want to lose 30 pounds, right? And then now 30 pounds becomes goal number one. And now you need to make goal number two again. So let's say after 30 pounds, I'm going to be happy with my weight loss. Now I'm going to go run a 5K race without stopping this summer. That's goal number two. And by living one step ahead, not 10 steps ahead, because that's going to overwhelm you and put the brakes on you and make you not want to do anything. By living one step ahead, you're already assuming that you've got that one first step that you've been working on for so long. Really cool. Really cool tactic, ladies. So that is what you need to take very serious. And those are two things I want you to work on right after this call, right after you finish this talk, right after you get off here. I need you to dream really big. Make your brain work. It's going to take a while, because anything you come up with is something that you've probably already thought about a little bit before. So think big and get a goal number two ready. What happens after you accomplish finally goal number one? And watch how fast goal number one happens when you're already planning for goal number two. Okay? Because the way this world works is, sooner or later, those who win thought they would, right? There's not a winner out there that didn't think they were capable of winning. There isn't, right? Find me one. Any winner, any person that you look up to that is successful, they knew they would be successful. They knew that they were winners, right? You don't think you're a loser and then randomly win one day. If you think you're a loser, you will keep producing losing results, right? You can't have this thought pattern and self-talk of losing, like a losing attitude, and expect to win one day. It doesn't change like that. It doesn't change in the future. It changes in the present right now by how you're speaking to yourself. Sooner or later, everybody who wins thought that they would win, period. Everybody who thinks that they win will win. It's not if, it's when. And if you're really in it, you better start now, and your when will be sooner. All right, you are a winner. You have to think that you will win, and then you will always win, okay? No more losing, no more it's not for me, no more self-doubt. Overpower that with these tactics we talked about today by expanding your brain, right? Now once you've literally expanded the reach and the ceiling of your brain, you now believe, and the possibilities in your life have become a little bit bigger. And that's what we're missing. When we make small goals, we achieve small things, and we live in a small world. And you deserve to make big leaps and bounds and be scared and take risks and live in excitement. But you have to think you're going to win before you actually win. So do you think you're going to win? And if the answer is no, if the honest answer is no, you need to think of winning before you can actually act out the winning. You have to lift the ceiling in your brain. That is why we think of these really, really big dreams, because it goes one hand with the other, right? When we push this one up, the bottom comes up, right? When our top ceiling pushes up, the bottom will push up, and we have a new normal, a new low that is higher than our previous low. And that is what we're trying to do here. Our limiting beliefs, our worst habits, we are trying to push the top. So then by association, the top limits of what we're amazing at, what we're perfect at, are these awesome goals. By association, the bottom limit rises, and then our standards rise, and then our mindset rise. And that's what I want for you ladies. If we're stagnant, we got to push up. We got to push the bottom up. So we have a new normal that's better than the last. And that's my goal for you. Okay. So you don't have to, you don't have to see the whole staircase in front of you to take the first step. You really don't. Because if you really sat down and thought about all the steps, it's too much. It's too scary. It's too hard, right? You don't have to see the whole staircase. What you do need is the first couple steps. Goal 1, goal 2. And what you do need is the last step. So you can keep climbing. So you know what you're climbing for. And if you have the first 2 steps and you know where you're climbing to, then you can just trust yourself that you can build the other steps along the way. Trust yourself. That is the winner's mentality. It is not, oh my God, how am I going to do this? It's, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Just different. It's just different. Take it on with a winner's attitude. Take it on with a winner's attitude. And I want to leave you with a quote that I really, really like. And it's, sorrow looks back, worry looks around, and faith looks up. Sorrow looks back, worry looks around, and faith looks up. There's nothing left in your past for you to draw from. Worrying about things we can't control isn't going to help. And it's the faith in yourself, sometimes even blind faith, sometimes even ignorance. Just so much faith in yourself that you will win. Not that it's going to be an easy ride, not that it's going to be a fast ride, not that you're going to know what you're going to do all the time. Just, you have to know that you're going to win. You have to start future pacing if you want your future to change. If you do not come up with any new thoughts, any new goals that push the envelope, you will never reach the ones you've already set. That's the name of the game. If you want to evolve to the next level you've already set, your brain has to evolve to that level. But if nothing is pushing that brain, you'll always keep wanting that level, but never getting to that level. So what you have to do is think past that level. And then you'll reach the first level. And then you think of a new level. And then you reach the next level you set. You're always one step behind the level in your mind. So when have you pushed the envelope in your mind? There needs to be a level above your max level. Otherwise, you'll never reach what you think is your max. The name of the game is change. What is different? What is new? Are you growing? Are you evolving? Or are the same thoughts flowing through your head? The same solutions flowing through your head? The same behavior patterns just wrapped up different? That's what we get confused about. A lot of the times the things we do are always the same. They just look different on the outside, but they're coming from the same place. So push the top limit to a new level so that the current level that you thought was your top can one day become your bottom. That is what I wish for you ladies. So really appreciate what future pacing can do. It is going to open up a chamber in your brain where it can flood in new possibilities and destroy a ton of limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck in a cycle that you're either aware of or not aware of. So practice your future pacing. It is super exciting to let your mind wander, and it's going to give you much more of a fire under your butt because you now know how awesome this could really be. Let yourself go there. Don't hold it back because you're afraid that you won't get there, because history has shown that you won't get there because you failed so many times. Let this be the last time you try. The last time you try, and you can make it all the way there. You really, really can. So implement your future pacing, ladies. I hope this is kind of started to open up your mind, and now the rest is on you to go and actually implement this. So I would do this immediately after you get off this call, okay? Think about what that top level is for you, and then push it just a little bit. Take it even further, and then that'll make the one you had in the first place more achievable, much more achievable, okay? And then think of your goal number 2 so that we can make it past goal number 1 already. Let's make goal number 2 so we can crush goal number 1 and then make a new number 1. We need a new number 1. We can't have the same goal for years at a time. It does devastating things to our self-confidence.